Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. Today we're going to be talking about some serious drama Nux Taku has recently found himself in, but unlike his previous drama, this time his actions are just disappointing and I refuse to defend him. So when it comes to videos like this involving fellow content creators, especially those I share an audience with, I'm normally very hesitant to make them. And while I have no problem with someone watching this video and continuing to watch Nux Taku, I know there are a lot of people who are going to watch this and be very disappointed by what I'm about to share with you because it might change how you view him. In a nutshell, Nux came out as a run-of-the-mill anti. Yesterday, he made a series of tweets calling lolicons and those who defend it, you guessed it, pedos. Now, I'm sure that comes as a complete shock to those who are familiar with his content. After all, he has used and profited from lolly and lolicon for his thumbnails, his content, even forming his friendships and connections. Worse yet, this morning he tried to backpedal on everything and claim it was just a prank, bro. But I will show you, without a shadow of a doubt, that what he said yesterday represents his complete switch up. His attempt to appease the VTuber community he has desperately tried to appeal to that has rendered him as one of the biggest hypocrites on the subject I have ever seen. So without further ado, let's look at Nux Taku, the lolicon who cried pedo. So the drama began with this post he made yesterday. It states, "Nothing as beautiful as friendships forged in making fun of pedos." And of course, it contains a screenshot of his interaction with Mudahar, where he says, "A dark day for cupcake enthusiasts," which is a reference to pedophiles, EDP in particular, where he has a screenshot of the news where lolly and lolicon related hashtags have been banned on Twitter. Now, this is something that I spent a great deal talking about yesterday. In a nutshell, the lolly hashtag has been banned on Twitter, and much to some people's surprise, it is something I support because over the years, despite this term being shadow banned on Twitter, actual pedophiles have hijacked this term and abused this hashtag to seek out real-life children and exploit them sexually. Now, these aren't anime fans, they're not even lolicons, they're just people who unironically believe that the term lolly means an actual child, which is something that antis have been slinging around for a long time. Seeing this whole interaction, many people were angry, as you can see by the number of quote retweets. They couldn't believe the guy who has used lolly-related content in his thumbnails, videos, and the same guy who has openly befriended lolicons, followed and praised lolicons on Twitter, could be making such a statement under glaring hypocrisy. But when I saw Nux's tweet, I played devil's advocate. I consider the fact that maybe Nux is playing 5D chess and trolling all of us by making his reference not to lolly enjoyers, but instead to the actual predators who are abusing the hashtag thinking it was a slang for real-life children. Well, even my optimism was crushed as clips of Nux being an anti were shared in the replies and quote retweets and sent to my DMs by concerned viewers. There are many clips I can share, but let's start with this one before we go through the plethora of examples showing Nux Taku incorporating into his content and profiting from lolly and lolicon. Oh, and for context, this clip is a reference to a VTuber who was dogpiled and harassed by hundreds of her peers for posting a lolly smasher pass tier list.
Met with countless VTubers and Twitter users bashing this person, saying, "It's been a minute since I've said this."
Bro, could you imagine you make a tweet that essentially just gathers all of the pedos on the platform in one place? This is an Elon Musk sleeper agent, okay? A lot of you think that he's a weirdo. No. It's an Elon Musk sleeper agent gathering data on who that they should take out back and break their legs.
And I'm gonna say this now and get it out of the way. If this is what you're into, please leave my community.
Yeah, well, kind of makes sense, I guess. That's really cringe, and this lolly thing is wacky. We keep going.
Well, if we're breaking the legs of lolicons, you should probably start getting yourself fitted for a cast, little bro, because they're coming after you next. Like, it's obvious hypocrisy here, and he's gonna say, like, oh, this is a joke. Like, what's the joke? What's the punchline here? That you're gonna break people's legs over fictional content? the same fictional content you consume, by the way. Like, maybe I don't get your turbo humor, but I don't think anything about this is funny. I think you're being serious. And this is buried like 20 minutes into a random video. Like, it's a little bit weird. And looking at his thumbnails and video ideas, I don't need to go through and explain all these. You can see for yourself. This is just a snapshot of what is dozens of videos containing Lolly and Lolicon, either in the thumbnail or in the title, or basically the entire video revolves around the concept. He even has videos where he's showing this content to other YouTubers. So if he thinks this is so dangerous and gross, like, he's obviously full of shit here, okay? So I want to mention here, this is the point of the video. Normally I would go, yo, your Twitter likes are public, and do that whole bit where I show his public Twitter likes. In this case, some of the lewd lolly stuff involves some VTubers that either A, I'm friends with and I don't want to drag them into this, or B, they're people who have already publicly stated that they don't want to be a part of this drama, and I'm going to respect that. So you're just going to have to take my word for it that there are multiple images of lewd lolly VTubers in his likes from very recently as well. So take that from me. But you can say that while I have respect for those creators and their privacy, and I don't want to lump them into drama, but as for me, you follow me. Like, I'm not going to also show our DMs. Like, you have said you enjoy my content. You have said that you like what I do, and you've asked me to be on your stream multiple times, and yet you're saying these things. Like, how could you possibly follow me? It's really weird. But nonetheless, I'm going to show you another clip just to really spike the football here. Let it play.
And of course, there are also your pedophiles and all that.
Oh, well, you kind of glossed over that. What do you mean by that?
Well, you got people that the lolly debate is really huge in the VTuber scene. Like, you got lolly VTubers, you got VTubers that talk about liking lollies, you got Discord servers of VTubers that are liking lollies and stuff, and the claim is, well, you know, she's a 3,000-year-old vampire that looks like a 12-year-old girl. It's too volatile. I wouldn't want to touch that with a 6-foot pole.
So in case you didn't catch that, there was actually Moist Critical, aka Charlie, in the background of that video, which I think is pretty funny. His views on this is pretty wishy-washy in the videos that he appears in with Nux, but I think there's one clip in particular that really speaks to where Charlie stands in this whole thing.
And for some fucking reason, Twitter being the cesspool that it is somehow brings anime into this, talking about, well, why is cutie such a big deal when anime has kids being sexualized? Well, first of all, anime is fake. Those like children lolly things, those fucking 900-year-old vampires that look like they're 4 years old, the little cum demons that have existed for 2 millennia, but they look like a 6-year-old, those aren't real people. They are animated fake things.
So obviously it's pretty funny to compare these two takes that somehow strangely both bring up this whole 5,000-year-old whatever, which again, like I kind of hinted at, nobody actually says that, by the way. I have not heard that defense unironically used in a long time. But nonetheless, there is one more clip I want to play. It is a clip from Nux's and SomeOrdinaryGamers podcast. And they're doing the whole lolly debate, and it is just, you'll see, it's a mess.
I don't know if you ever heard of the channel Digibro. He was like an anime dude. Yeah. He got into a lot of debates about how lollies, it's not weird to be attracted to lollies.
That was when I signed out of that dude's content.
That's also kind of where
arc.
Yeah, that arc was weird.
And like randomly he had like a video talking about like why Patreon's in the wrong for taking down people who make like lolly porn, like hard defending it. I'm just watching this. I'm like, bro, you don't.
He debated Destiny about it.
I didn't see that.
He debated Destiny about how lolly is like. Okay, whatever. Anyway,
So that Cupid character that you have, what does it look like?
Well, it's actually like 4,000 years old. I'm like, no.
What? How old does it look?
8.
Okay, well there you go. That's the problem. So I have to like tell someone, like, isn't it like a gateway drug? And it's like, it's not a drug. It's not actually hurting anyone. I'm like, bro, just admit it's weird, okay? It's weird, and you can look. I watch cartel death footage on Reddit all the time.
Yeah, there's really nothing I have to say about that last part, but nonetheless, I shared that video for 2 reasons. Number one, notice how they never actually said pedo at any point. It's a common tactic used by antis where they don't actually say the word or phrase, but they just heavily imply it, like everyone knows what you're talking about. And when you repeat over and over again, it's just weird. It's just weird. We all know what you mean. And in this case, it's not just weird to Nux. He has said multiple times, as we've seen, that lolicon is for pedophiles. Okay? And the second reason I showed this is the interaction between them. I think it's really important. I think it's the main reason he's doing all of this. He's just trying to fit in with his friends and fellow content creators, because he's had this very open acceptance of lolicon for many years, and all of a sudden he's saying all this stuff while he's hanging around these people. And you know what? I get trying to fit in, but like at the same point, you can't be the biggest hypocrite in the world about the subject just to fit in with people who are anti-lolicon. Like, you don't have a leg to stand on. And that kind of leads to the next part. I just want to briefly talk about this. Nux has had a very bad reputation in the VTuber community for some time now, and to be honest, it's not deserved. They've tried to cancel him a million times, and those times were unfair. Like the VShojo situation, and there was a situation where he was getting canceled for his N-word video where he's paying streamers to say the N-word. Like, those were big controversies, and VTubers were really involved in it and trying to cancel him. They even called him a lolicon in the process. That was a big part of it. But now, he has made a lot of amends towards fixing his relationship. In the last year or so, he's done a lot of collabs with small streamers. He's promoted them, interacted with them. He's clearly making an effort to make his reputation better in that community. And I can't think of a better way of doing that than calling lolicon pedophilia. Am I right? But this now leads us into the final part of the video. I originally wasn't going to make this until I woke up this morning to see him backpedal. This was probably the worst response imaginable. I was going to ask him maybe in a reply what he meant by his original tweet, but he comes out saying that this is comedy. This was all comedy. That original tweet calling people pedophiles, it was just comedy. Well, explain to me where the punchline is, dude, because I don't get it. Maybe I'm just not funny. I don't get how this is a joke. Like, where is the joke? And you still have to say this, that there's still a little sus, and he wanted to rock the boat. Well, you rocked the boat so hard you fell off of it, dude. Like, I just, like, this was, like, the worst response. For someone who's been canceled a million times, like, this was the last thing you should have said. You should have said nothing at that point. You got exposed hard for being a hypocrite, and then you come out and basically say it's just a prank, bro. And I was just trying to rustle your jimmies. Well, we know it's more than that. We've seen the clips of you saying these things. It aligns exactly with what you originally said in the first tweet. There's really nothing else to say. Like, this whole situation is just really disappointing, and I know it's disappointing for a lot of people out there, and like, it's just BS. Like, nobody's buying this. It wasn't a joke. You mean this stuff. And whether you actually believe it in your heart, I don't know. I mean, how could you with your history of being okay with lolicon? But this isn't, whatever this attempt is, it's not helping you. It's not a good thing. It's just, I don't know who you're trying to impress with all this stuff. But that's going to do it for this video. Please let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys next time.